identified out something based on this SAD?
Oh, yeah.
Another course? Maybe you show me some progressions on this coming Thursday, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, this coming Thursday should be like 70-80% done, okay? Don't forget this weekend, this Friday is Chinese New Year already. You have time to do that or not? You have not make sure this Thursday the progressions are you have at least 90% already, huh? Okay, make sure. So I'll see how for this coming Thursday. Yeah. Okay. So today we will cover chapter 4. You'll try to see whether for today you can see the slide, can see the changes of the slides when I present it. Can you see slide 2?
Oh, still one.
Still one. Something wrong with the Meet already.
Okay.
Because I asked the students in another group, diploma, I asked them to try as well. Yeah, they cannot present a window, but an entire screen, okay. I will try to present entire screen as well. So you can see the changes of the slide now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So for this chapter, chapter 4, decisions and conditions. For the concept of these decisions and conditions is actually the same like what you have learned in problem solving and programming. If else, okay? You have conditions, and what kind of decisions you want to do based on these conditions. And you have if, else, or else if, all these things. So the objective of this chapter here, statements, conditions, next if is the one that you ever do as well. Using if statement with a radio button and checkboxes. So which means that if I click on a certain radio button, what will happen? Or checkbox, what will happen? Okay, so all these can be set up. Enhancing message boxes. The message box is the one that you have to deal with last week. Okay, so how to pop a message, and now you can enhance it. Input validations, the case structure. The case here is the one that you ever deal with also, the switch cases, switch cases in C++ previously. Sharing and calling an event procedures and debugging. Let me show the latest pointer first. Okay. So for this statement, just for the recap, okay, used to make decisions. So if this condition is met, then what decisions you want to do based on this condition? Okay. So if true, only then only the then clause is executed. So in this case, in VB.NET, you have something, if a conditions, then what will happen? What's the decisions? Okay, you need to use the then clause here or then keywords here. So if false, only else clause, if present, is executed. So which means that if you put the else clause there, then if something, if the condition is false, then will execute your else clause only if it is there, if you include it. Okay. So block, if then else, must always conclude with an if. If you have if, then else statement, always you have to conclude it with a and if. This is the syntax. Then must be on same line as if or else if. So which means that if you have if statement or else if statement, so make sure the then clause must be on the same line with these two keywords here. Okay, and if and else must appear alone on a line. Okay, when you have and if, when you have else, make sure this must appear alone on a line. It's no more like you can squeeze everything together. They set some rules for this. Okay, so note here, else if consider as one word, and if here consider as two words. Okay, so basically you can see the general form of if, then else, or if you have else if. Okay, so which means that the if you have if statements here, the then must be on the same line. Same with else if conditions. If you have else if conditions, then clause must be on the same line with else if. Okay, I'll put the next line. Error. Okay. Else and if must appear alone on one line. You see? Must appear alone on one line. So this is the syntax that you need to follow lah. So if then else statement here, you have a if conditions to fulfill. If this is fulfilled, what will happen? If this is true, then I want to do something on the check boxes. Checkbox called checkbox unit, check units. Check equals to true. Otherwise, else if false, this checkbox won't check lah, uncheck lah. You will set the check as false. And don't forget the and if. Okay. But when entering if statements, the editor automatically will add the then and if for you. Okay. The conditions here. The test in an if statement is based on the conditions. To form the conditions, comparison operators, also called as the relational operators, are used. Those operators you ever do as well. So comparison must be made on like types such as strings, compare with other strings, numeric values, compare with other numeric values. So as usual, the concept, how you compare it, if you want to add the string from user keying to compare with the string inside your file to see whether it exists or not, all the things. Actually, the concept wise is still the same. Okay, 6 relational operators here are used for the comparison here. Greater, less than, equal. This is not equals, greater equals, less than equals. Okay, so you can use all these operators for the comparison. So in the conditions, an equal sign is used to test for equality. Equals. It's no more like C++, you have to use double equals. Okay. For this VB.NET, you only need to use the equal sign to test for equality. So when numeric values are involved in a test, numeric values, an algebraic comparison is made, where the sign of the number is taken into account. The sign of the number, which is whether it's positive or negative. So here, if definitely positive, normally we don't put positive sign there. Negative, yes, we have to put negative value, negative sign. So negative 20 is always less than 10. That's normal maths. Okay, string variable can be compared to other string variables. String properties of string literals enclosed in the quotations mark. When you do your string comparison, the quotations mark, don't forget. So string comparison, begin with the leftmost character. It will actually compare again. Even though you compare string, it will still compare the character inside one by one from leftmost to the right. Okay. So it will still compare character by character if you have 2 strings here. And it will proceed 1 character at a time from left to right. This is what I mentioned just now. So as soon as the character in one string is not equal, okay, to the corresponding character in the second string. So first string, second string, if you can find out, okay, as soon as a character in one first string is not equal to the second string, then comparison is terminated. They can find out whether the first string is greater than second string or first string is less than second string. You have the result already. So, and the string with lower ranking character is judged less than the other. So how to judge it is again based on this NC code. NC code, okay, the one that you also deal with in programming previously. Or another one, we have the ASCII code as well. That's a standard. That's a standard values for a certain character or symbols. Then there is a numbers there. There's a decimal numbers there. Easy for you to compare. Which one is bigger? Like the uppercase A, what's the value for the digits for the uppercase A? Lowercase a, you have the ASCII value there. What's the value there? Then they compare it. If for this, based on the ASCII value, the lowercase is always bigger than the uppercase. Okay, so you can always refer back to the NC and also ASCII code. Okay, depends on what's the characters that you want to compare now. So example of string comparison here, you see, it's actually go through one by one. J, compare with J, same, still the same. O, compare with O, still the same. A here, but here H. A, if based on ASCII value, that's 65. So H, you can count by yourself, 65, 66 is the B, 67 is C, and so on. Move on. So definitely H is bigger than A. So it will give you the comparison result here. This Joanne is less than John. Okay. Hope and hopeless. So here, the first four character you can see is actually, you have the same first four character. You have the same first four characters here, hope. But for the second string here, you still have LESS, which means that here you don't have this empty one. This is actually less than this. Okay. But when you check on the numbers, numbers are always less than letter letters. To compare 3 with a P, definitely you cannot compare like that. The 3 is always less than. P is already like 70 plus already, 70 plus or 80 plus. You have to check the ASCII code as A is already 65. So definitely numbers are always less than letters. Okay, this is for sure. Comparison upper and lowercase character to upper to lower method. You're familiar with this, to upper and to lower. It's the same. You have to make the string. If you apply to upper, it will make it all uppercase. If you apply to lower, it will apply it to all lowercase. So you can do some checking by applying to upper or to lower. Because sometimes, especially the text, the string, you don't know how the user key in. Okay? You don't know how the user they key in. Maybe they key in all uppercase, all lowercase, or mixture. So you can use either one to convert it to either lowercase or uppercase for the comparison. Okay, compound conditions. You can combine multiple logical conditions. You have more than one conditions. Okay. So this one you also ever deal with previously. You test more than one conditions here. Create compound conditions by joining conditions with logical operators by using this. So this compare Boolean expressions and return Boolean results, either true or false. Boolean is always true or false, only 1 or 0, true or false. For the logical operators here, and or not is the or, and not is the one that you ever deal with previously. But and also or else is something new for you. We will see what is that. XOR you ever deal with in programming previously. I forgot whether you ever deal with that previously. It's an exclusive OR. Okay, exclusive OR. So and also or and also or else, and also and or else. This one is actually used for the advanced programming when the second expression should not be executed for some reason. You won't go into second expressions. No point already when you go for the second expressions for some reason. Okay, so when both and or are evaluated, and is evaluated before the or. Okay, so when inside your statement, your conditions, you have both and or operators, it will do for and first. It will do for and operators first, and only go for or. This is because of the precedence as well, the order of the precedence. So like multiply, divide, plus, minus, it will do multiply, divide first. Okay, so like this case, logical operator, it will go for and conditions first, then only go for or conditions. So you can always use parentheses, just like how you override the precedence by using multiply, divide, plus, minus, exponentials, and so on. You can use a parenthesis, a bracket, to override it. Okay, so that whatever inside parentheses is actually evaluated first. So like this case, if you have more than one conditions, this sales greater 1,000, radio button for the discount, check, text state text to upper not equals to CA. So it seems like you have so many conditions here, compound conditions. So it will go for the AND statement first. So which means that it will do this one first. Radio button discount check. Is it check? And text state text to upper, is it not equals to CA? Then only it will compare the result here. It will do the OR conditions for these cells with the result that happens here. Okay, so it will go for the AND, then only OR. So make sure when you set the compound conditions, you know which one you need to do first. What you want to check first. What kind of conditions you want to check. Whether you use AND operator or OR operator. So if statements, the content additional if statements are said to be nested if statement. So you can have a nested if statement under the if statement. So for example here, if integer time greater than 32, then I want to do something else, do more checking, nested if. So more than greater than 32, if it is greater than 80, it's very hard. If it is not greater than 80, but it is greater than 32, within this block here, it is 33 to 80. Then it will show moderate. Else, which means less than 32. Okay, freezing. So the nested if statement can be happen in this way. Okay. Another way for the nested if statement, you can put the nested part at the else statement. Okay. So if the temperature is less than equals 32, then it's freezing. Else what happened? Else I have the nested if conditions here to check whether it's hot or moderate. So both this is the previous slide, and this one is actually giving you the same result later on when you run it for the same temperature key in. It will show you the same result. by using both way. Okay, you can put either inside the in, if, or else for the nested if statement. Okay. So far so good. Any questions?
No.
No, Kelvin and Chris, so far so good?
No.
Okay. So the concept is still the same, It's only that the syntax is a bit different, So using if statement with the radio button and checkboxes. So you can use this if statement for these two to determine now you are in which options. And now which options is actually selected or are selected. Radio button, normally one. It's one, it's one only. But for the checkboxes, you may have more than one. So if a certain radio button is selected, what's the actions you want to do? If a certain checkboxes or one checkbox is selected, what you want to do? What's the actions? Okay, so place the if statement in a click event for a button, such as OK or apply button. Then I hope now you can, by the same time you listen, you can start to on your demo for chapter 4, because later on we want to play around with the demo lah. Okay, for this nested if and this. Okay, you by the same time please on your Visual Studio first. So normally we put inside the if statement in the click event for a certain button. So make sure the naming for this button is suitable, either it's apply or OK or this or something which you think is best to represent what you want to do later. Oh, demo. Sorry, so demo now. So this demo, I cannot open it here because it's too light. My laptop here is only 4 gig. Once I open up my Visual Studio, it will be I don't know for how long I need to wait. Okay, sometimes phone is not responding. Actually, I open it out in another PC here lah. So you all can open out your chapter 4. Please open up. Have you opened up the chapter 4 demo?
Lecture đó.
Under lecture, there is a demo, or if you download it from the Google Classroom, is actually under demo files for lecture. Okay, yeah, you haven't downloaded
Okay.
Get it from there, the demo files, all the demo files. So now you go under chapter 4.
Then click the
This
Curious.
is the one, but I don't want to open it. Chapter 4 demo. This is the one. You will just double click it. Okay. Okay, open up already.
Oh, yeah.
So you can try to play around with this form if then else. Try to change your startup. I'm not sure which one is the startup form initially, but you can double check it. Under my project, you can always set your startup form. Startup form under applications. Startup form should be the form if then else. You can just start it. Okay. So this demo is actually on the unit that you type in. If that unit is actually greater than 30 decimal, then the checkbox will have a tick lah. But when the unit that you key in there is less than 30, you won't check the checkbox. Unit is greater than 30D. You got that? Okay, you play around with it and then take a look on the coding. Okay, you play around with it. Demo file, I hope those 3 previous chapters you really play around with the demo files given. Even though those demo files are not listed within the slides, make sure you check with it because it's helpful. The codings that you're going to deal with, you can recycle to use some of part of it. Okay, so check through the coding for the if, else, if then else. Kevin and Farrell, please try as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially to take a look on the coding part. Just double click on the button there. So you can see that if that's a greater than 30, it will take the checkbox. The checkbox is checked. If that's less than 30, the checkbox won't check. So try to see how can you come up with this type of decisions based on the coding there. Okay, it's only like if a decimal unit greater than 30D, then check unit check is true. Else check unit check equals to false. Initially, did you notice that whatever you key in to the text unit, the text txt unit dot text, you need to parse it first. You need to convert it to what's the suitable data type now. Okay, because whatever the key in the text box, text box that's considered as a string. So make sure you pass it. So in this case, because that's a D there, means that's a decimal. So you just pass it to decimal. Decimal dot pass the text box that you collect the string, the input from the user. Okay. So for this questions demo, okay,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you go for this various form various. Make sure you change your startup form. You change your startup form to form various. From there, you just start it, run it, and see what happens. So when you click blue, okay, and the decisions, it will change the back color to blue. If you change it to green, it will go for the green color. If you change it to red color, the background will change to red color, and so on. You can play around with it. And again, check through the coding. Click on the OK under form various. Check. Maybe by the same time I Then I try to open it out, see how long it would take. Yeah, I open up already, but just wait lah. Okay, so you can see by using a if statement. Are you in the form barriers now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You can see start with your line 10, the coding, coding the thing part. Line 10 using if statements with radio buttons. So from there, line 12, if the radio button blue color is checked, it goes to true, then me.back color, which means that this form, the form variables, this form dot background color, you change it to color dot blue. So this is how you can actually manipulate or play around with this radio button with the different decisions. Different radio button, you check, different decisions you make. Okay. Okay, you check around with it. Really slow. Okay. So basically for this demo, you look into these two first. Later on, we have more lah. Okay. So let my Visual Studio run by itself. We continue first. Okay. So any questions based on that tool demo just now?
No.
So far so good, huh? Okay. So enhancing the message boxes. For longer, more complex messages, store the message text in a string variable and use that variable as an argument of the show method. Okay, so more complex messages. So normally, if you have a certain error that made by the user, especially during their keying, so show some meaningful message boxes for them. We will wrap longer messages to a second line by itself automatically. So include new line if you don't want to follow the automatically adjusted one. You can always include a new line character. Like what you have done in programming previously, you can always include a new line. VB.NET also that you can include the new line character as well, which is the environment.new line or control character.new line. Okay, you have others, some more later. You have others some more. So these are actually for you to make it more tidy lah. You feel more comfortable to look to more readable lah when you look into your own coding later on, and also the display later on. Okay, so this to control the line length and the positions of the line break in the multiple lines of output. Line break. So combine multiple line, the new line constants to achieve double spacings and create multiple message lines. So you can come out with something like this. So this is actually later on you will come out with one message box which is only with one button, OK button. Okay, then you will have all this message inside. Oops, sorry. You will have all this message inside. Please select one of the color and then combine with the new line, new line. Okay, with different options. So this will be the options button. Sorry, it's a message box that will be displayed if the user did something wrong with the form barriers just now. Okay, so in this part again, you go back to your form barriers. Okay, did you notice that you have more comments after the yellow? In your line 23, you can see the enhancing message box. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, let me see whether my no response. So is in my Microsoft Visual Studio. Oh. So slow. Okay. Paul Maris. Okay. So from there, from the enhancing message box, you can uncomment the else statement in your line 26 until line 34. Try to uncomment it. So these are the codings that I mentioned in the slide just now. For the string message, what are the string message? And then the usage of the what we call that, the new line. Okay. Have you uncommented already?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, when you uncomment it already, you try to run it by clicking straight away. If the form is shown, you just click straight away OK button without clicking blue or green or red or white or yellow. If you click already, you just restart again, rerun again. You just stop it and run again, and click on the OK button. Then you can see a message box coming up because user just pretend that user now, without selecting any color, straight away, the user straight away click on the OK button. Then this will be the message box come up, missing color selections. Okay. You got the message box already? Class?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to just press OK because this message box is only with one button, OK. Then try to select any colors. It's actually back to what you have done just now from the first demo there. You can choose certain colors to click OK. So this one is actually to give you some guidelines later on to apply to your assignment. In case your user didn't click or didn't follow the instructions, then what will happen? Definitely you need to give some meaningful message box for this user so that user will know, oh, what's wrong with what I've done previously. So I will not run it later on only if needed. Okay, so you all play around with it already, the message box here regarding all these lines. Okay. All these are the control character constants that you can use. But this tool is actually no different. Different if you are using the Windows, Microsoft Windows. No different. You can't see the difference. Okay. So the carriage, return line fit, all these are actually giving you some break, okay, some lines. Oops. So again, you can always refer back to these tables here to get more other controls. Okay. So displaying multiple buttons. You can use message box button constants to display more than one button in the message box. In your previous chapter, we talked about message box. We actually talked about different type of message box and more. It's only that you haven't really used it. Message box, you can adjust it. What's the signatures that you want? So message box show returns a dialog result object that can be checked to see which button to the user click. And declare a variable to hold the instance of the dialog result type to capture the outcome of the show method. So what's the dialog message there? You can use the different signature as what I mentioned just now because you have quite a few different signatures for the message box show method. to specify different button. You can change the different icon. You can come up with two buttons, or you can come up with the OK button, OK cancel, OK and cancel button. All this can be adjusted. So add the message box default button arguments after the message box icon arguments. So you just check back in your chapter 3 previously. What's the syntax of this message box? And what's the different icon arguments that you can use? Okay, signatures that you can use. So like this case, we have OK cancel. Just now, previous one, we only have OK button. Okay, so if you still remember the previous message box, we only have OK button. But based on this, because now we change the signatures of these message boxes, is giving you the OK cancel button. OK cancel. So you will have OK cancel button here. Okay. So for this part, the dialog message, the result message here, missing color selections. Missing color options. Oh, should be something wrong here already. Okay. Missing color options. So you change either one. So the color, the box button here, OK cancel. The icon here, the questions, is a questions icon. Okay. So we continue here. If result equals to dialog result or cancel, then we close. So which means that if the user click on the cancel, then I want to sneeze. Give me a second. Yeah. It's gone. Okay, never mind. Okay, so if the result here equals to dialog result cancel, you click on the cancel, then it will close me. Close me. So in this case, again, back to the form varies just now. Okay. Okay. You have to command the, you go to your line 38. Okay. Kevin, I think my laptop here is even slower than yours. Okay.
Maybe because
I need to add the RAM already.
Yeah, I need to add RAM.
Oh, but you see now how to go and get a RAM. Okay, never mind. I just tahan saja. Luckily, I still have another PC here. Okay, just now you have comment and comment this part. All this. Very slow. Mine is only 4 gig here. Definitely not enough. This is what you have to comment just now. So now enhancing your message box, you can go to the try to adjust it bigger, but never mind. You still can see me, right?
Right.
Okay. So now you can see from your slide, from your line 38, comment the message box dot show, which means that this one back. Okay. And uncomment line 39. Comment the part 2 statement to demonstrate enhancing message box exercise. So you go to this, start with your line 43, 44, 45, and so on until end. And you can start to run it. Sorry, I don't want to run it. It will actually slow down my laptop later. PC versions there lah. So again, you don't click on the any colors first. Colors first. When you run it, you can straight away start it. Okay, when the form variables is shown, okay, straight away. And it will show you the cancel button. Nicer presentations already like for the message box. You have icon with the questions already. Okay. You're missing color selections. You can see the different now. Different message box signature. You mentioned in the slide. Different signatures that you choose. Icon that you select, make sure is suitable to the conditions that you actually put in the message box. Warning, and suitable to put questions marks. Okay, all this is checked already. If there's a warning for you, it's good to use what icon already. Exclamations, something like that. Okay. So you can make it run, and you can see the different. Is if you didn't choose any color, straight away you click on the OK button already. Yeah. Any questions so
No.
far? No, okay. You got the same thing, huh?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Input validations. Actually, just you have to check whether is a valid values entered by the user or not. Like what you have done in previous programming also, you do some validations. Validations will include checking a range of values, making sure that requires items entered, input is numeric. So you have to do this kind of checking as well to make your system program friendly. Okay. So check for the range of the values here. If the integers pass text hours or text less than 10, then what's the code that you want to perform for the calculations? You check for the required field, which is make sure there is no blank there. If txt.name.text is not equals to empty or nothing there, then what you want to do? So all this kind of checking you can do. You can your assignment later on. Okay. So use nested if statement to validate multiple values on a form. You can always use that.
Miss,
Now, yeah.
The less than and more than symbol is for the text.
Come again, Noel. I can't hear you clearly. If
The one check for required field, not
blank.
So the one for text.
For text, because whatever you key in the text box, text is a string.
Oh. So compare the one in the double quote.
Which means that this is empty, nothing.
Oh.
Nothing. If there's nothing, what you want to do? Okay. You can set Don't forget that always what user key in inside the text is a string. You have to pass it. You have to convert it. This is what we have done in chapter 2. Chapter 2 or chapter 3. We ever deal with it chapter 2 or chapter 3. Okay.
No.
So now the case structure. Whenever you want to test a single variable or multiple variables, the case structure provides flexible and more powerful solutions. This is actually referred to the switch cases as what you have to do in programming as well. Switch cases. But this one is more to more to English like, which is like you can see more words, more wordings inside your switch cases. Okay, simpler and clearer than nested if. No limit to numbers of statements that follow case statement. So when you use a relational operators, must use the word is. Then if you have a range, you must use to. So that's why I mentioned you can see more words inside the switch cases compared to the C++ previously. For example, here is 80 to 99, something like that. So this is the general form for this case statement. Select case, what's the expression that you want to do? What's the case? Different case, different statement. Okay. So example here. Want to select case for this integer number. The case is greater equals to 100. Then what's decisions you do? 80 to 99. You see, you can use the word 80 to 99. In C, we can do all this. In C, we do case 1. It's doing what? More than one case in the same actions, you have to put case 1, case and 2. Case 1, 2. But here, you can do, it seems like more flexible. Okay, so 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, you can just put a comma, different case some more. And then when you can have the combinations, comma, 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 comma again is greater than 70. Different case again, different actions again. Okay, so it seems like more flexible compared to what you have done previously. This one is sharing an event procedures here to add the event to the handle clause at the top of an event procedures. Whenever you all play with the, let me open up the Visual Studio here. See, once I double click, you can see that for line 5 here, all these are the event handling. It's actually handle this object's event per click. So a lot of different events are supposed, not only click, you have more than that. Okay, you have more than that. Changes, whatever changes, text change, check change, all these are the events for different controls as well. Okay, but mostly what you deal with the click lah. Okay, so once you double click it, it will actually give you all these straight away. It give you, and for you to figure out what you want to do inside within this. Okay. So now you have to add the event to the handles clause to the top, at the top of the event procedures. Allow the procedures to respond to the event of other controls. You need to do some changes on the event controller. So good professional technique is to set up a module level variables, which is somewhere outside, to hold the selections of the user makes. So key to use the share event procedure is the sender argument. So in this case, when you have this C functions, sender to a specific object type using the C type functions, sender object, which means that later on it will get the returns on what the user selections are in this radio button case. Okay. So the coding for that is actually to handle check change, different check change, whether this radio button is checked down or not, or changed to other radio button. Okay, to handle all these object check change. Because how many buttons there you have? 2, 4, 5. So make sure you are actually handling all these 5 radio buttons. Tag change event now. Okay. So for this part is actually for you to get the check which one is actually user click on it later on. So different check change, different, give you different actions later on, but your different actions will also into the different back color lah. Then it back to this different check change. Right, this one is based on which user click on that, the check change. What's the name they check on that? Blue or green or red or white or yellow? If that's the radio blue, again, it will show the color blue lah to the selected color, but later on, it will assign the selected color to back color lah. So for this part, to show you the cases, different cases now. Radio yellow, white, red. What will happen? Different color will be assigned to the selected color. Then, yeah, this selected color will be assigned it into me.back color. This form varies dot color dot oops. Form varies dot back color. I cannot control and do it. Never mind. So one whole process here from this until this until this is actually again, even though you are doing the same thing, but now using different way to do that. By using so many to handle so many different object event changes. Okay. So for this part, we have to go back to the form areas again, form areas again. So you can notice that in your line which line? Here. Yeah, line 56. You have a check change handling this all these 5 radio button check change. You can notice that. So which means that we can straight away put in all the buttons that you have, radio buttons that you have in this case. No need to go for one by one. Okay. Line. So you have to select comment the if statement. You have to comment the if statement. Yeah. Here else also comment it. This one also part 2 also comment it. One part 4 comment it. We are now use another way for this. So comment from your line 59. Comment why I put it in. Okay. And comment from your 59 line 56 until 3. You can see the squiggly line, it's okay because we have an uncommon as well. Yeah. So module level is a module level variable. Means that this, if this variable, if you put it here, all the private sub here, if they're having selected color, this is like a global variable lah, within this form. Global variable which is within this form. Definitely, you can also put dim selected. Sure, your dim selected color as color should be here. Straight right after public class your form. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you have to put this one because we need to assign the selected to the that color later on. So this one also uncommented. So your error should gone lah. Okay. So let me adjustment on my PC. This one I cannot run it because if I run it, it's too slow. So like I'll try to comment whenever need to comment it, uncomment whenever you need to uncomment it. That's what I mentioned just now. From if, else, comment it, sorry. I hope you follow that. The instructions also quite clear. Same thing like your first form various, because it's now we comment on the message box here already. Now we just focus more on the select case. Okay. Did you all got it? Form still can run, or after you uncomment something, your form there's a big error already.
So the code, if like we change the to other color, then the background change. No need.
Yeah, it's still background color will change. The form background color will change based on the colors.
Oh.
Yeah, that's your result.
Oh.
Just now we are using if else. Now we are using case. Select case. Any questions? Make sure you ask. This is actually giving you the idea for your design later on. For your assignment. Done already?
Can I present? Because like
You
my
present? Can. Should I start presenting? Or just presenting right now? Okay, your turn. What?
So here,
Hold on, I still cannot see anything come out yet. Okay, yeah. Okay.
can see
Yeah,
this one.
can see already, yes.
So if I click, nothing happened.
But click on the okay. Is your button okay?
Oh, I thought.
Because your selected color is actually assigned to the mid color at the button click actions. And you go back to your coding. You close this one. You go back to your coding. Go to your design first.
Sure.
Then you can straight away button okay lah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, because you assign selected color, mid that color under handling button okay click. Okay.
oh,
That's why
okay.
in this case, you must click OK, choose blue, it will show the blue after you click OK lah.
Okay, understand.
Okay. Vera and Kelvin, okay?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
far? Okay, good. Make sure you follow lah, huh? Otherwise, you cannot apply this to your assignment later on. Okay. So you also need to go through with the coding lah. Okay. How they actually call the user selections for your case select later. Those things, make sure you check through again, because coding wise, you still need to spend some time. It's not saying that once demo you got everything already, but you still need to go in and out of the things given in this demo file. Okay, here. So calling event again, sometimes that with the button which is having the same procedures or same functions, you are actually doing same thing. So that's the overlapping functions. Okay, we call it as overlapping functions. So like in this case, new order button must do the same task as clear for next item. New order or clear. So what you can do, you can actually recycle, reuse it. Okay, reuse the functions by calling that functions. It's not copy paste all the coding lah. Copy paste all the coding, and it can work as well, no problem. It's only that in a professional way, normally you just call the functions. Okay? That would be good to call the functions. Like something like this. This one I forgot to go through this one. So if you wish to perform a set of instructions in more than one location, as what we mentioned just now in next slide, you don't have to duplicate the code. You don't have to write instructions again. You just need to call the procedures. Call the procedures name. Keyword call is optional, no need to put the call lah. So for example, here is actually if you have this one, clear for next item button, having same as new order. One of the functions there, you just come out with all the process or what you need to do. Another function, you just call. Let's say this clear click is actually done already. You have a lot of process inside this clear click. So in another functions, I need to clear again. So I just need to call this clear click. Then it's actually doing the same thing like what you do for the clear click functions there. Just to call again, no need to copy paste or write again, no point. You can just reuse it, call it. Okay, debugging tools. We can use the debug menu, debug options on the VB standard toolbar, which means that if you are doubt with how this works, you can actually set all those points. You can go debug step by step into your coding. At the same time, it will show you at the output side, output or the local and all those windows, some additional information there. Okay, when you go through with this a new program, maybe you don't know what is this, suddenly give me this kind of result. I don't know what happened. So you can go for the debug part, and it will show you step by step. So now if you are inside the for loop, okay, I equals to 0, then what we'll do, what kind of output will come up, it will show you step by step. Okay, so that's the debugging. So for these local windows and auto windows, it will use the values of the properties, variables, mathematical expressions, and conditions. So it was, let's say you have a certain variable, or variables are more than one variables, it will show you step by step. Now I equals to 0, j equals to 1. Now I equals to 0, j plus 1 becomes to 2. All this step by step will be shown inside the debugging lah. So you can just check through your own what we call that, the environment. Okay, you can see that's the step in, step into, step over. Normally we use this tool lah. Okay, but you need to, you can also set the breakpoint. Okay, set the breakpoint. I'll show you how to do this lah. This one. So the debugging options on the debug menu showing on the keyboard shortcut key, you can try to find the debug menu there. From the menu there. Okay, or you can just use the keyboard shortcut key like F10, F11. That's the debug. Also, you can write some output by using debug.writeLine. Okay, debug.writeLine. It will show at the output window. Normally, when you run your system, your program, you can see at the down part, maybe your site, your environment. Normally at the bottom lah. Okay, you can see the output there. Okay, so if normal debugging, you don't debug it, you don't put debug.writeLine, your result will run automatically for you, But if you put the debug.writeLine, it will show, it will still run. But the result, what you put the right line here, it will show at the output here. Okay. Yeah, this is the output. But when you run it, when you have debug.writeLine, it will show at the bottom here, at the under the output. Okay. In this case, I think you have to go to debug. Yeah, debug.vb. Very slow. You all can open out the debug form debug later. Let me finish up this part first. So this is the breakpoint. This is the breakpoint here. So this toggles the breakpoints on off by clicking in editor grid left margin indicated. You can put some breakpoints. Then it will actually again show you what kind of output will be shown, will gone through inside the process for this breakpoint. You can set the breakpoint on and off. You click one time, it's on. Click another time, it's off. Okay. So this is the local windows. Depends on what's the program you run now, what's the forms that you run now. Display all the objects and variables that are within scope at debug time lah. It will show that when you debug it, what are the changes. It will show here when you debug it. Again, this is auto windows. Automatically adjust to display all the variables and controls content that appears in the previous few lines and next few lines. It won't show you everything because your program is keep running, and it cannot show so many things. It will show previous few after next line, something like that. This for Windows. Okay, so this is what you have learned from this chapter. Go back to the one. Windows Visual Studio. So you just start up your debug form lah. See how slow it is. Okay, I try to run because we have done our lecture already. Can spend some time to run it lah. Debug on your own machine. Hello, class.
Hello,
Can
Miss.
you all hear
Hello.
me?
Hello.
How come no one texts me? Yeah.
I thought Miss
Keep
reconnecting.
talking. I don't know. I just keep talking. I just continue with my debugging, and then I keep explaining. How come no one give me any response? Okay, never mind. We go through again right after our lecture.
Oh yeah.
Right after I show one. Right after I show
Right.
this one.
Oh yeah.
Did I show
5 seconds.
this one already?
Oh, this one.
Breakpoint?
And
Okay, you can click. Okay, now you can try to click on the breakpoint. Okay, breakpoint. Form debug, form debug. Siok sendiri ya, keep talking. I don't want to answer me. So you all put the breakpoint already?
how to breakpoint? Yeah.
Yeah, you just click on that.
Why don't have
Click on the
the red button?
gray. Click on the gray area. Can you see the gray area?
Great.
Yeah, beside the number.
Beside the number, on the left of your number.
Oh, just click. Okay. Then what's the purpose?
Okay. Have
Oh yeah. Can I?
So you can just click.
Miss,
Yes. And only later you try slowly lah on your own programs later on. Then now you can try to press the
DC.
okay. For every forms, suppose of every yes. Farah? Farah? Anything? Or you can't hear me clearly? I'm still here. I can hear you. Maybe okay. Question? Hold for a while. Normally, can you all hear me now?
can, but a bit.
Lagi.
Like again, Okay. Okay. I'll check the checkbox there.
Okay.
You just follow. If you cannot hear it, just refer to the checkbox. So after set the breakpoint or breakpoints, you can actually press F10 to see the output step by step. Consider step by step. Then how this step by step when you the output is actually the output that shows under the whole process during the process. Okay, you check the checkbox again. Okay, yeah. So now after you have set the breakpoint, and then for the deep dot right line. I hope you all can hear me lah. If cannot, again, you put under the dot right line. It will show. Okay. Just we have gone through the dot right line in the slides, am I right? So this button sequence click if conditions is evaluated as true. So down here at the output windows here. This one, output windows, you can see the line. If conditions is evaluated as true. It's exactly what you put inside here. Okay. So, especially when you and debug to see step by step. During the process. You the final output again. This is the purpose of the debug point. Okay. Same goes to this when you play around with the Visual Studio for the C or C++, C#, you can do all this type of breakpoint debugging as well. You will get clearer which part actually giving you troubles or problems or errors easily. So when you set the breakpoint, okay. Any questions? Oops. Any questions? So you all can still hear me clearly or still lag?
Can.
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 So far
Little
no
bit,
questions at this moment?
So far, no question.
Okay, 2 more revisions. Okay, good. So do some revisions, play around with all this demo file. I just wonder a demo file from chapter 2, I'm not mistaken. Since chapter 1 we don't have any demo file. Chapter 2 and chapter 3, did you really play around with it? Demo file?
Haven't opened it.
Haven't, yeah. No.
Ah. Check on it, and make sure you check on that. Okay, it will give you more ideas lah. Okay, and some part of it you can actually recycle. Okay, so any questions on this chapter 4 at this moment?
Mm, no,
What we have gone through, is it clear?
I think I little bit lah on the debugging part, but I think I need to
You love
revision.
it, something new already, which you can apply to the previous, what you have learned previously. Oh, easy for you to do your checking, find the errors. Oh, okay. So if no questions, then even though it's Chinese New Year Eve, we still have class. Okay.
Okay.
Your progressions on the practical. Let me see. Yeah, practical. Oops. Practical 3 done already.
Yeah.
Practical 3 done. Oops. Done. This is 4. So 3, how many questions there? I forgot. 4 questions. So I hope I just say you can finish up all these 4 questions already lah. Huh? Then you do your demo, and this Thursday we will start with our practical 4. Okay. Is it okay? Any questions?
No question.
Okay, good. How about Calvin and Sarah? Since Noel said
No.
done already practical 3, yeah? No, good progressions. But please spend some time on the also assignment week 5. Okay, make sure you all discuss it. And week 5, did I mention week 5 when you all need to submit? Tuesday or Thursday? Did I mention that?
Yeah, miss it.
You all have any submissions on Tuesday or Wednesday? I said
Yeah.
on when?
Tuesday. Miss it on the first week.
Tuesday. Okay, you try to give me on Tuesday to see whether you have any changes that can be easily done. If yes, then you do some adjustment. Thursday you submit again, something like that. Okay, you show me this Thursday I want to see your progressions. I want to see what you have done first. And next Tuesday you show me everything. You submit first. You just submit as usual. You submit to the Google Classroom there. Then if any comments or anything that I would like to ask you all to adjust it, maybe Thursday you need to resubmit again, something like that. Okay?
Okay.
Clear or not?
Okay.
Okay. So make sure you all do your discussions now. Discuss among you all. Okay. So if no questions, I will see you all on Thursday.
Okay,
Okay.
miss.
Yeah. Okay then. You're all in on Thursday then. Bye.
Okay.
Okay,
you,
miss.
miss.
Thank you.
Okay.